In this video, we're going to consider the benefits of seeing the world as a sacred place and offer you 5 tips on how to go about doing that. Hi, Mark Gilbert here. Let's start off with a quick thought experiment. Let's consider your underlying beliefs about how you view the world around you. Here are 2 different ways in which we can regard what we experience out there. Option 1. As I look out at the world, everything I experience is separate and apart from me. To some degree, I can manipulate these things, and many items I see are lifeless, inanimate objects, while others may be considered alive, but neither consider anything special like a soul or spirit. Everything is a product of this material world's evolution and can be explained in some scientific way. Option 2. As I look out at the world, everything I experience is somehow connected to me. As I interact with the world, I sense how my actions are changing things out there, and they're circling back and impacting me. This underlying unity of all gives me a sense that there's something special embedded in the world, something that could be termed soul or spirit or some other word that reflects its true essence. Got those 2 options? Yeah, it's a forced choice, which I don't normally like. And you may not totally agree with either other viewpoint, but suspend that thought for just a moment. Instead, consider where you are and look around your space. As you look out at the objects around you, which perspective comes closer to how you perceive the world? Are you living in a separate material place full of stuff, or a place that's interconnected with a spiritual essence? A few years ago, I interviewed progressive talk show host and author Tom Hartman about his latest book at the time. And at the conclusion of the interview, I asked him one final question about what did he hope people got from his book. In response, his last comment struck me. He stated that he hoped that his book would lead to a shift towards a resacralization of the world. What the heck does that mean? Well, I gathered from his answer that what he wished to see was a change in how we perceive the world, that more and more of us realize that the earth and everything we experience is sacred. Which, of course, raises the question, what is sacred? Basically, the dictionary says that something's sacred if it's considered worthy of spiritual respect or devotion, that it inspires awe or reverence among believers of a certain set of spiritual beliefs. Now, key there is that we don't have to agree on our spiritual ideas. In fact, in other videos I've discussed in regards to what it means to be spiritual, that we're all spiritual in our own way. Some from religious faith, some see science giving their lives meaning, others apply their own spiritual paths to life and develop their own relationship to that which is the divine and they call spiritual. So we can be religious, or we can be scientific materialist, atheist, or we can be spiritual but not religious. And that viewpoint, no matter what it is, drives us and inspires us with awe and reverence in its own way. But among all these viewpoints, I think most of us can agree that one thing that inspires awe is our individual life here on planet Earth and all that it entails. And from that, it's important that we see the sacredness in this space and time we inhabit, no matter what our viewpoint on life is. So what are the benefits of seeing the world as sacred? Well, first off, life becomes more exciting. Imagine walking around and looking at things frequently with a sense of awe and wonder. I don't know about you, but that sounds great to me to be able to do that. Secondly, a benefit is that it changes your perspective on your relationships. Every person with whom you interact is now awe-inspiring and worthy of being treated with respect and dignity and with love. 3, it changes your perspective on your work. Work's no longer a burden. Instead, it's a gift that gives you support and a place and space for you to express your talents and to give your gifts. 4th, seeing the world as sacred changes your perspective on the earth itself. You see that our planet is a special place that needs to be revered and treated with the utmost care. And finally, 5th, it changes your perspective on yourself. If you're sacred, if you're awe-inspiring, if you're worthy of reverence and love, then what does that do to those internal messages that you may be carrying around that say you're not good enough or that you're not worthy? Developing a sense of seeing the world as sacred, no matter whether we see it as material objects or things interconnected, brings us to recognizing that our lives and experiences are a gift. And a large part of that gift is this world we're in, and all we get to experience as we move through it and express ourselves. So how can we develop a resacralization of the earth? How can we grow our sense of awe for the world in which we live, move, and have our being? To that end, here are 5 suggestions. 1. Begin by setting the intention today that you'll see the world and everything in it as just a little bit more sacred than you did yesterday. Expand that realization a little bit more tomorrow and the day after. 2. Answer this question for yourself. What is it about this world or your life that inspires awe and wonder? What inspires awe and wonder? It might be helpful to break this down into categories a bit, such as what it is about your work that's inspiring, what aspects of your relationships bring about a sense of awe, what things about yourself truly are awesome. If necessary, stop and journal on these things. Write them down. Create a list of things in your life that truly point to this being a sacred experience. 3. Begin to notice those awe-inspiring moments when they arise in your life. If necessary, stop throughout the day at random moments and ask yourself, what is sacred in this moment? What right now is inspirational to me? What inspires awe in the experience that I'm currently in? 4th, create a place in your home, such as an altar, a special spot or shelf, and put items there that remind you of the sacred nature of life. And every time you see the space, let it shift your consciousness and remind you about how awe-inspiring your life is. 5th, let your intuition guide you to books, videos, and other things that open your eyes to the sacredness of this life. They're all around you if you look. Finally, consider this. As you grow in your awareness of the sacredness of this life, ask yourself, what is mine to do with that knowledge? How am I called to act differently or show up on the planet with such sacred awareness? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this topic. Drop me a note or a comment. Maintain that sacred life. Till next time.